anyways, so we make wearable blood pressure monitors. I have samples here for those who would like to see them and try them. And wearable devices are for health and wellness are a big and growing market. The piece that's always been missing has been the ability to do blood pressure, accurate blood pressure measurements. And the reason you care about this is because lots of people suffer from blood pressure disorders. One example is adult hypertension, which affects over 1 billion people around the world. And their chances of dying doubles from this for every 20 points increase in their average blood pressure value. And so obviously, if you can control their blood pressure better, there's a huge financial impact that's available. But adult hypertension is not the only issue that might affect you. From the time you were born through childhood, for any traumatic accident you might have during your lives, if you have kids of your own, and then finally when you get older. At all points in your life, there are chances that you will need better blood pressure measurements. And the problem is today's standards of care don't really support good blood pressure management. You have a choice of spot measurements from cuffs, which you're all familiar with. People find them uncomfortable, inconvenient, and inaccurate. And to really accurately measure blood pressure, you take a catheter and stick it into an artery and then measure blood pressure directly. This is obviously painful, expensive. Most important is it leaves you at risk of a number of major complications. And so our solution is to provide accurate data very similar to arterial-line monitoring, but in a non-invasive, comfortable form factor. And I'm proud that we received FDA clearance for our first product at the end of 2023. So our devices are non-invasive like cuffs, but provide continuous or periodic data like art lines. We worked very hard to make them easy to use by anyone and to provide accurate data and a low-cost, comfortable to wear device like nothing else out there today. And our devices are actually designed for patients of all ages, starting from birth all the way up to, we've taken measurements from 98-year-olds. So this blood pressure market is very, very big. You have the opportunity to impact virtually every medical interaction. We're starting with nominally a small market of pediatric care, but there are 5 million hospitalized patients per year in the US. We are then offering adult products that we plan to submit to the FDA at the end of this year, initially for maternal care, but then our big market we expect will be pre-admission care. And then we also have some studies ongoing now to move into home monitoring, primarily for discharge care initially, and then long-term hypertensive management. So this big product roadmap is all based on the same hardware and software platform, so we get economies of scale. And we are selling at least the first 3 or 4 generations of products through a razor blade model with single-use devices. And we have more than 30 other indications that people have been bringing to us as we've been talking to them about our technology. So there is a lot of room for growth in this for this platform, both inpatient and outpatient, and for patients of all ages. And we think this stepwise strategy is a convenient way or an efficient way for us to build our product and product platform and get revenues as we both grow each individual product line and then as we add additional products to it. A few words about the company. We spun out of Stanford with an exclusive license to our base technology. We launched our baby product, the Bopley, last year. We've had 3 purchase orders from hospitals to date. We've had a lot of ongoing studies, a lot of patients, a lot of hours of data that have been collected. And we feel that this platform has many exit and licensing opportunities. So we've raised a bunch of money today. We are currently focused on raising another $8 million in equity, which will allow us to finish the development of the adult products and then also allow us to scale the sales of baby product. We do still have about $400K left that's out in a bridge note that if anybody is interested in writing a check. And then we will explore growing the additional markets and moving to lower acuity care. We have a very experienced team. We've worked together a long time. I think it's ranging from 5 to 15 years. Lots of people who have brought lots of products to market. And would love to work with you to try to make this happen. we believe that we can really touch the lives of many, many people with better blood pressure measurements. Thank you.
So quick question about the data element. I know we spoke a bit earlier. How do you plan to integrate how do you plan to integrate this into, as someone who's worked on hypertension studies in patients with retinopathy of prematurity or diabetic macular edema, this is a huge issue, even though hypertension is frequently documented in claims or EMR. Are you going to integrate this and offer this as another product, or where do you plan to go on the data side?
So our data right now, what we do is we take the data from sensors, we stream it to a mobile device, and from there we can go into the EHR. And so the data will be available. The issue is today people don't know what to do with that much data. And so we decided we'd start with these shorter term applications, but our plan is to ultimately move really into digital health and build the algorithms around the time series data. Thank you.
Hi, Xina. I can totally see the need for this. A lot of my family does blood pressure monitoring. My question was around, I noticed that you have a few partnerships with hospitals already, but maybe to dig deeper on your go-to-market and distribution strategy, like are you planning on doubling down on hospital groups or medical channels, going through primary care? Would be curious to hear a little bit more on that.
So we started out with critical care situations because people know what to do, or they care a lot about how blood pressure is changing over time. It's a little bit harder when you go outside the hospital. And so at least the first few steps, we are looking at direct hospital sales. The other piece that's nice about that is that the markets we've chosen are DRG. So we don't have to worry about reimbursement codes yet, which can take us several years to obtain. We've gotten some indications from payers that we could use some of the existing codes, but they tend not to be very high right now, and they don't quite value the information the same way. So what we've done is we've positioned ourselves as cost savings to the hospital.